Welcome back, Shalligators. Today we're gonna talk about sex. YouTube's probably gonna demonetize it. Who cares? Sometimes we just need to talk the way we need to talk and let the click chips fall where they may. We're gonna talk about something Travis Kelce said in an interview a few years ago that was unearthed, and it was like kind of making the rounds because he was talking about his dating, nay, sexual deal breakers, about blowjobs and about when a girl should put out. And of course, people are like, well, what does this clearly mean that Taylor Swift is doing behind closed doors? Because obviously they're dating, and I am feeling some type of way about this. It's jealousy is the way it has a type. It has a name. It's called jealousy, envy, all of those black, horrible, roiling thoughts. He just gets hotter. The more I look at him, he gets hotter. He also gets more like cringe Lord neo-lib, like getting paid to take the, and taking a knee during a national anthem. He's not a based god, as I love, but that's okay. We're not going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about what he does in the bedroom. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk about whether or not it is a deal breaker for guys if you don't put out past the third date, because he is not the only celebrity who feels this way. Logan Paul opened up, who, like, I love him. I know he's like frat guy, date rape, fantasy squad starting lineup, but he is so hot. And I actually really have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for anyone who is a YouTuber at the level he's at and has come through so much hate. I mean, I have been part of that hate. I have made hate videos about him. But he changed my mind a lot since he got into fighting and boxing, and I've listened to him more and more. I was like, damn, he's actually got a pretty good head on his shoulders. I think he's probably just grown up a little bit. He's engaged to model Nina Agdal, who walks like a centaur. I've been at a lot of events with her. I've never seen someone walk so strangely in real life. Maybe she's grown up and learned how to walk in heels too. Doesn't matter. But he has said that he thought something was wrong with her because she didn't put out right away. We're going to go into that and what he meant by that. And I'm going to tell you guys how long you should wait before sleeping with someone. Can you find love with a one-night stand? Or if you do that, if you put out too soon, does it pretty much doom the relationship? Or, according to Travis Kelce, does it doom the relationship if you don't put out by date number 3? Is that a long time to you? Is that like a really, really short amount of time? We're going to get into it. I'm going to give you guys some scripts and some tools on how to have these conversations and how to deal with potential fallout. But before we get started, you guys, our revenge necklace and our ruthless necklace is back. It's back, baby. We have restocked. Click the link down below to shop. It's the perfect way to get all excited and geared up for Eva Week, which is coming. I'm so excited. I've been filming it. I've been working on it. I think it's going to take a different direction this year, but I think it's going to be something you guys are going to find super useful. Yeah. So let's talk Travis Kelce. Okay, so he was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, who loves to ask the most inappropriate questions imaginable. Did you guys ever see the clip when Shaquille O'Neal was on there? And Andy's like, in his lean with his cards in his lean. He's like, Shaq, you have a size 23 foot. How big is your dick? Can you imagine asking a woman, how tight is your pussy? I don't even like to say that word. Is this where we're at as a society? Is this where we're at? And to Shaq's credit, he took his shoe off and he just like held it against his leg. Why would you? Okay. So he was talking to, it was Ramona Singer and Travis Kelce. This is from 2016 because he was doing his show Catching Kelce as like his own Bachelor type show. And he's like, I was super high the whole time. I didn't really take it that seriously. But he dated the chick for a really long time who he picked. So he played Let's Make a Deal Breaker. This is like something that I guess they do. I don't watch What Happens Live because it just seems like weird. So he said basically the TLDR is he said it's a deal breaker if a woman won't give a blowjob. And he was asked, is it a deal breaker whether a girl won't sleep with you after the third date? This is what Travis said. The third date? I feel like that's a deal breaker. That's the breaker right there. 3 dates? That's like a while. I don't want to say a deal breaker, but it puts some questions in the air. And then Ramona Singer is like, what did your mother teach you? And in her Long Island, what did your mother teach you? Wah, 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 wah. So, okay. Travis says it's a bit of a deal breaker if a girl won't fuck after the third date and won't give blowjobs. You know what's interesting? We want an alpha male, right? We love an alpha male until he starts acting like one. And then it's like, oh, blowjob? 99.9% of guys want blowjobs. Don't you want oral? Even if you don't like love it, I don't want to date a guy who won't do it. Does that make sense? There's a difference between oh no, thank you, I don't want this, and I'm not going to give it to you. And I think a reason we don't like to receive it is because we're constantly taught that our bodies are disgusting. Men don't have feminine hygiene sprays, masculine hygiene sprays. Has anyone ever floated the idea to men that their dick isn't exactly a box of kittens? Wow, look at this. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. Is it the bouquet of an Herbs de Provence sachet that you get at the airport in Nice? No, it isn't. They have an odor, right? Like they have a smell, but no man ever is like taught that. It's us. We're constantly, you have one hair down there, you're disgusting. Is it tight enough? What does it look like? Rah! No one ever says that to men. They worry about how big it is and how hard it gets. And beyond that, are they worried about is there varying colors? Are they bleaching anything down there? Are they worried about how their balls look in proportion to their weenus? No. My point is, when we don't like getting oral, I think it's because we've been fed this idea that our bodies are sickening. Men are not fed that idea. Anything that comes out of their body, from their words to their jizz, is like, look at what I created. Wow. They're so delighted, and we have to be delighted right back. Wow, it's in my eye. Oh, and I'm listening to your stupid story. And even that, I think it's a deal breaker if a guy won't go down. Even as much as we're taught to hate our bodies, and no matter how comfortable we get with our bodies, it's still in there. It's still in there, right? That it's disgusting and that men shouldn't want to do this. No, some men shouldn't want to do this. You know what those guys are called? Homosexuals. They're gay. Those are the men who are like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. That's because you are a gay guy. So great, you understood the assignment. Have all the dicks you want, you know? And I've said that. I had a boyfriend just about this time last year, never went down on me once. And again, it's like, I can like take it or leave it, but I don't want to be with someone who's like, ugh. And I was like, do you have an aversion? And he's like, well, I mean, it's obviously not my favorite. I said, what do you mean, obviously? Where's that? That's an interesting word. Obviously? It's obviously not something you want to do. Why? He's like, I mean, I don't know. He was just shucking and jiving. He didn't have an answer. I was like, do you think maybe you're gay? He's like an army vet. He hit the roof. And I was gaslighting him, just staying calm. I was like, well, I don't know, because that's the only guys I've heard say, obviously, I don't want my face near a vagina as a gay guy. Yeah! I'm like, okay, well, that's the impression that it gives. Oh, is that offensive to you? That you're getting pressured into doing something sexually you don't want? Welcome to hell. Welcome to our world. You think we love a weenus like jammed down our throats? I mean, we do. I like blowjobs, but it is a job. Make no mistake. It is absolutely appropriately named. Absolutely. But let me give you a little pep talk about oral, ladies, before we get into this. YouTube's just like demonetized. Like the more I talk, the more they hate it. I'm bisexual. I've hooked up with girls. I am not even gay. Like, I'm not hardwired to only like chicks, right? Going on a girl, it's fine. You are absolutely, it's not gross. It is not gross. And again, I'm not hardwired to like this, like straight dudes are. It is not gross. If you're a lesbian, tell me in the comment section. Or if you're bi, if you've gone down on girls, tell me. And I don't know a single guy who doesn't have a touch of gay who's like, ew, I hate it. Men just don't do things they hate. They don't. Ask him to hang a shelf he doesn't want to hang. You'll see real quick what I'm talking about, okay? If it was gross, men wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it, you know? It's fine. They like it. They like the control and the power. I mean, if nothing else, like, wow, I got her to the finish line through that. It's not easy. No, it is not. No, it is not. So is it appropriate that Travis is saying it's a deal breaker if girls won't go down on him? Again, it's not apples to apples. I'll tell you, it's a lot harder to give a blowjob than it is what guys are doing. I will tell you that. On one hand, I mean, I think if people don't like, how can I say this? You don't want to be with someone who's like, I absolutely won't do this thing because it's just something else that's off the menu. It's just a bummer and it's off the menu, right? And you're like, well, it's just like one less thing one less tool in the toolbox. One less fun thing that we're not going to do because she doesn't want to do it. On the other, why the fuck should she do something that she doesn't want to do? Why should you do something that's a lot of work and maybe it's not your thing? You know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, girl. And that is valid and allowed, but it is also valid and allowed, I believe, for a man to be like, then I just don't think we're ultimately sexually compatible because I believe her to be repressed or prudish or not experimental. And I'm not saying that that's true. I'm not 100% saying that that's true. But if that's what they believe, then I don't know. It's like I can see both sides of it. I really can. What do you guys think? What do you think? Are you like, oh no, I'm very sexual. I literally don't like to give blowjobs. I have a gag reflex. I have a small mouth, whatever it is, but I will do anal. I will do all of these other things. Is that your vibe, you know? And if so, what have you said to guys to kind of overcome this? But that's what I worry about is like, I don't want you out here overcompensating, like I'll do threesomes and make a sex tape, blah, 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 and you're just doing the most to make up for something that shouldn't be a deal breaker. It shouldn't be a deal breaker. And listen, girls, I'll tell you something. No quality man is out here dumping women they actually genuinely love because she won't suck their dick. They just don't do that. They might be bummed and they might think about it and be like, and they might enjoy sex a little less with you. They might, but they're not going to dump you. If he's a quality guy, that actually isn't a deal breaker. I would not give up a man I loved because he wouldn't go down on me. I wouldn't. And the boyfriend I was talking about was like, maybe you're an HOMO. Are you a gay guy? That's not why I dumped him. It really wasn't. And it wasn't even a factor. It was a star in the galaxy. I'll say that. It was a data point. It was a data point about, you know, I just kind of thought, well, maybe he doesn't just like women. He doesn't respect women, or maybe he's not attracted to women. I don't know. It was a data point. I don't know what that data point added up to. Maybe nothing. Like if you don't want to give blowjobs, maybe that doesn't add up to anything. Maybe it does. There's no hard and fast thesis that not liking blowjobs will produce every single time. You know what I mean? It's not like if they don't do this, if you don't do this, this always means XYZ. That's not how it is. And don't let someone tell you that. And don't let someone make you feel like that. I didn't make him feel like that. Yeah, I was being a real bitch in the moment. But I was also on 10 about a million other things in our relationship. And that was just like, you know what? Of course, he's withholding in all these other categories. He won't meet my friends. I'm not allowed to meet his. Like he won't this and that. He's withholding in a million other categories. Why wouldn't he withhold behind closed doors? Why wouldn't he? Of course, this is part and parcel for him. Makes sense. So in that sense, it contributed to the collapse of the relationship. But on its own, if we'd been in like a great, healthy, stable relationship, I would have just like dealt with it. It's like, of course it's not a deal breaker. If he doesn't like to do it, the last thing I'm going to do is make someone I love do something they don't want to do. Why would I do that? That's not what sex is about. And for quality guys, that's not what it's about either. We think that men and women are so incredibly different. We are different in a lot of ways. But quality guys aren't like, well, it's too bad. I'm going to ram that 7 inches down her throat whether she likes it or not. No one worth even speaking to would have that as a thought in their mind. No man would have that as a thought. They just wouldn't. But what about Travis Kelce not wanting a girl who won't sleep with him after date number 3? That's interesting. I feel like these 3-day clusters come up a lot in dating. Wait 3 days to text her. Wait 3 dates to have sex. First of all, gentlemen, if you're watching this, do not wait 3 days to text a woman after a date or after getting her number. She is long gone. She's lived and died 1,000 lives. When guys do that, I'm like, who are you? Oh my God. From Friday? Bro, it's Tuesday. What? Like, I want you to text me 3 minutes after I give you my phone number. Hey, it was so good to meet you. If we go out and you wait 3 days to text me, I'm like, well, he doesn't like me, so great. And even if you come back and you're like, hey, oh my God, I had such a good time. I have gotten so progressively irritated. You can't put the genie back in the bottle at that time. The bloom is off the rose. I don't care anymore. I'm annoyed. You're at such a deficit. I don't want to go out with you anymore. Why did you listen to this dumb advice? Do you feel like that? There's playing it cool. You can play it cool. You can text soon, but still play it cool. But you wait 3 days. I don't give a fuck what you're texting me unless it's a link to Cartier and you're like, pick out whichever you want. I love you. Okay. And again, I don't think 3 days is a great metric of how soon you should sleep with someone when you're dating. I think it's better than one date. Here's some unpopular opinion. It is not guaranteed that if you fuck someone the first day you meet them, the first date you have, that it's never going to go anywhere. That's not a guarantee. I slept with someone our very first date and we dated for a year. But it is the exception to the rule. It is not the rule, okay? Best practices, you wait as long as you can. You just do. You know I love boys. I love sex. I'm good at it. I should be having more of it. I'm not. I'm like in such a nun phase right now. But I try to wait as long as I can, okay? This isn't about you being anti-feminist. What to me is feminism? Feminism is not equality. I don't want to be treated like an equal. I want to be treated better, okay? Feminism is me having every path at my disposal, every path a man would have, and getting to choose what's right for me. I don't choose someone else's path. Okay? My path is I work and I don't want kids and this is me. Someone else's path is she's a stay-at-home mom and she homeschools her kids. High five, sister. If that's what makes you happy, amazing. That's your path. That is feminism to me. So waiting to have sex is not being anti-feminist. It's not being, the patriarchy is running this. Excuse me? How dare you tell me what I should be doing with my body? How dare you? You know, I'm a body autonomy absolutist. That goes for vaccines and abortions and also when to put out. I personally think it's good to wait as long as possible because you know what? You're going to weed some bad people out. Fuckboys are the firework, right? They're a firework. Quality guys are a fireplace. Fuckboys, the fireworks, they're big, they're flashy, and they're gone. And they burn you if you get too close. Fireplace, you gotta build it, you gotta wait, and then it warms up, but it keeps you warm longer. That flame lasts. It does more for you, but it takes some time, right? Quality guys are that way. And a quality guy doesn't want to jump into bed on the first date either. I mean, he will. He's probably not going to turn down some blowjobs in the Dairy Queen parking lot. But he's going to absolutely be okay with waiting because he wants to feel out you as a woman. What's her character? He doesn't want to get his emotion, his time, his body involved either. A fuckboy is above all things impatient. It's a drive-through. It's like, okay. How long are you willing to wait for your food at McDonald's? Not long. How long are you willing to wait for your food at Nobu in Manhattan? As long as it takes. It's a quality meal. I know that once it arrives, it is going to be so good. It's a whole experience. I'm taking my time. I'm savoring it. You go through McDonald's, you're shoveling something down your gullet as you're driving. It is not a priority. It is not an experience that you really give a shit about. You gobble it up and then you move on and you don't think of it again. That is a fuckboy. So if a fuckboy pulls up to McDonald's, they're like, hey, the wait tonight for a table is 45 minutes. He's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. He's gone. If you say that to a fuckboy, which I do, and you're like, I actually don't, I don't go all the way until I'm pretty much in an exclusive, until we've had kind of a conversation. Oh, no, that's cool. Yeah. No, I respect that. Yeah. Yeah, I respect that. Yeah. That's what a fuckboy's gonna say. He's not gonna say, fuck you, bitch, and get up and leave. He's not gonna walk out of that restaurant. He's gonna be like, yeah, but you're probably not gonna hear from him again. And he might even try to gaslight you. You know, you're just really into this and I don't think I'm not, or I don't think I am. You know, you're gonna hear that. I just don't think we're on the same page. You just seem, I can't give you what you need, whatever they say. What they're not gonna say is, I can't wait to see you again. I really like that. Let's take all the time we need. I love that we can just get to know each other. They're not gonna say that. They might not say anything. They'll probably just ghost you. And it is so painful. It is so painful to have not a boundary, a standard, and communicate that and like practice it in front of the mirror and practice it with your friends. Okay, this is how I'm gonna say it, that hey, you know, I like you and I don't wanna just like jump into bed. I really like getting to know you. And I even love the kissing phase. I'm like, I love building that sexual tension. Like that's hard and that's vulnerable. I know because I just did it. I had a boy that I was seeing in July and I said that to him. I don't hook up right away, you know? I like to be really slutty with one person and it takes a little bit of time. We get to know each other. And he's like, yeah, that's awesome. And I never heard from him again. And that broke my heart. That did. Whew. Still does. Never gets less painful. You know, when you're like, that's who you are? That's what it is. You're like, wow, I really misjudged you. And the fact that I didn't see that that's who you were is heartbreaking in this moment, but it's terrifying in the macro because now I think to myself, I clearly can't tell the good from the bad. Not just by looking at him. And you know what, girl? That's okay. That's okay. These men out here are slick. They're slick. And like any virus, they adapt. You know, they know what to say. I know I said he's not going to be like, that's cool. Apparently, yes, no, they do. And I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. They will lie and say, yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. And it's not cool because they're gone. But I want you to reframe this. Instead of thinking, fuck, I didn't know who that boy was. I couldn't see it. Yes, you could. You did see it because you said that. You put it out there like that and you were able to do that. That is the vetting process. What are you supposed to tell just based on his clothes or where he takes you on a date? I mean, hey, that is an indicator. If he takes you to a dive bar, no, he's not serious about dating you. Don't lie to yourself. But when you can say that and you can look at the truth of how that plays out, it's like, wow, I put it out there and he ran for the hills. It is a knife to the heart. Because like I said, it's so hard to muster up the guts to be honest about these things. Or even if it's a bluff. I probably would have slept with him before we were boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, let's be real. But I wasn't going to sleep with him that night or the night after that. Yeah. You think that you should be rewarded for your bravery and your honesty. But here's the thing. You were. The reward was getting that horrible man out of your life. Doesn't feel like a reward. Doesn't feel like a prize. Feels like rejection. It feels like that person is saying to you, and as I'm saying this, I am literally realizing how many times I've said this to guys and how many times they've left. This has happened 4 times in the last year. And it is painful and disgusting, and I lose so much respect for this person, whereas 5 minutes before, I adored them. And I had so much respect. And now it's like, oh, wow. That's who you are. Oh, my God. That is the prize, is that you have weeded a monster out of your life, because you know what? He was going to leave anyway. He's going to leave anyway, girl. You can't fuck a guy into liking you. You know who could? If anybody could, me. Because like I said, I'm good at it. I taught a whole 13-hour course, which you can have in the Shallontrage, our Alpha Academy sex tutorials. They're good. I know what I'm doing. It doesn't really work like that. And I know maybe you're looking around, you're like, I don't know. I see some of my guy friends ensnared with these insane, terrible women because like, well, she's really good in bed. Yeah, I know. Okay. Those are really bad, weak men. They're really bad, weak men. And what they like is like the chaos, you know? And if we think like, well, she's got him, for how long and for what? I don't know, girl. I don't know. I think men who are just very one-dimensional are like fine with that. That's not you, and that's not what you're looking for. It isn't. I know this breaks your heart in the moment, and I know it's even more heartbreaking to look around and see these girls in happy relationships, and you're like, what? What? So excuse me, all of my standards are doing what? Keeping me alone? No, they're keeping you safe from the wrong people. And it is better to be alone than with the wrong guy, because you're not actually with him. You're not actually with him. You've probably been in a relationship where you're sleeping, you're trying to fuck a guy into liking you, trying to blow yourself into a relationship. I've been there. It's awful. It's awful. And it doesn't seem to work. Not for long. Not for long. Not consistently. Not in the way you want. If it works, it's only because the bar is so low that the scraps he gives you, you're like, this feels amazing. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It feels awful. It feels awful. And so when you tell a guy like, hey, I don't hook up before XYZ amount of time, and he's like, cool, and just dips, it's a gift. It's not going to feel like it. It might never feel like it, okay? Like, I'm getting teary talking about this because I'm thinking about this and how it's happened to me, you know, over the past year. And I'm not like, woo, I'm so glad. Feels horrible. Like you've just been reduced down to a hole. Like, wow, that's what I was to you. I actually liked you. Okay. And it might not make sense until you find someone who is quality. God blesses the broken road, you know, that leads you to something better. It's really tough. I'm not saying that it's not, but I am saying it is a million times tougher to hold on to a guy who is always just a lever. They're always just a lever. If they're going to leave, they're going to leave no matter what. You could have a threesome on camera with, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. I don't know why they're like this. I don't know. But they are. I don't know why my dog can't talk. He just can't. And I go with it. You know, I don't take it personally, and I don't twist myself into a pretzel trying to be something that he responds to. We can't live like that. We have to just keep it moving. So is there a magic number? Is there a magic amount of dates that you should wait? I think 5 to 6. I think 5 to 6. 3, okay, date number 1 is a peek under the hood. It is not when you're like, and trauma slide number 8 that I'm going to show you if you direct your attention up at the board. It is a peek under the hood. I don't even know that it's the time to talk about like really heavy, deep things. I mean, listen, if you're older and you're looking to like get married or something or have kids, yeah, I think that that's acceptable to bring up on the first date. Like, hey, like, what do you think about kids? Do you want kids? Because if he's a hard pass and you're a hard yes, don't have a second date, right? Because God forbid you guys really do click and your goals don't align. We know that that's a huge issue. But it's not the time to like debate big politics. It's do I enjoy this person's energy? Do I feel relaxed around them? Do I feel stimulated? Am I curious? Am I like, ugh, this date can end? Or I'm like, wow, I could have talked to him for like 3 more hours. That's what you're looking for. It's just a peek, just a peekity peek. It's a dip of your toe. Second date, you're wading in a little bit deeper. I don't think third date needs to be like, okay, now we're going all the way under. Because listen, you're gonna catch feelings. You can sleep with someone 2, maybe 3 times, and then you're toast. You've got the feelings. You've got the feels. I'm very good at separating love and sex. I just always have been. And that's pretty much where I would max out. Like 4 to, and it's like, well, because here's, first time it's sex. Second time it's sex and a little cuddling. Third time it's sex, cuddling, and watching a movie. So more cuddling. This is like after you have sex, and the sleepover, and then it's the morning and you're talking, and then you feel like you can see a relationship here. I can picture having coffee with him every morning. I like waking up next to him. This is not something to shy away from. And society tells us that it is. We all should be Samantha Jones, just like cocks everywhere. No. I mean, if that's your deal, great, good for you. I don't think that's everyone's deal for more than a short season in their life. Maybe, the seasons pop back up here and there. You get to have a long relationship. You're in a hoe phase. Good for you. I think for a lifetime, no, that's not what most of us want. Who wants to be alone forever? Don't you want to be bonded with the person you're giving your body to? Again, that's not anti-feminist. I embrace my ability as a woman to bond and to connect with someone and to have these amazing sexual experiences. Like I said, I'm a slutty monogamist. I want to be slutty with one person. I want to be daddy's little hoe. I love it. Why is that a bad thing? When we are being shamed for an innate feeling and innate behavior, you need to look up and look around at who is benefiting from that. Who benefits from women not needing to be in relationships? Men, shitty men want women who are like, oh, ew, commitment. No, that's not cool. And I'm the cool girl. Like, does that benefit us? Does that benefit our physical health, putting our bodies at risk that way? Having to take Plan B, boric acid, like fucking your period up because, you banged into your cervix, like changing your sheets all the time, like having him over to your house and having to clean up, or you just not sleeping well because you're at his house with his navy blue or gray sheets and the flattest pillow the world has ever known. Where do men get such flat pillows? I don't know. None of those things are any skin off his back, right? He's not taking Plan B. He's probably not getting an STD. He's certainly not getting pregnant. He doesn't have bacterial vaginosis. What is that? Men don't know what that is, right? They don't know what that is. They sleep just fine in their bullshit, like, frat futon. This only hurts us. To buy into the rhetoric that cool girls put out only hurts us. And again, if that's what you're into, great. I certainly have been for seasons of my life. I'm not now. And I don't feel like that I'm less cool, that I'm less fun. I actually feel like I'm more cool and I'm more fun because I'm more authentic. It has nothing to do with who's putting out when. It has to do with authenticity. If you are authentically in a hoe phase, get it. If you're authentically in a bonding phase, get it. And do not let anyone gaslight you into thinking that those are wrong. There is nothing that's right or wrong. It's authentic versus inauthentic. And the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself about what outcome you want. If you want a boyfriend, don't fuck guys on the first date. It might go well, probably won't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to convey them to you so that we can learn these rules and play the game and win. Might work. Why don't you err on the side that it might not? You might be the kind of person who can eat whatever she wants and never gain weight. Chances are you're not. You might be able to spend every dollar in your bank account and magically there's a new infusion tomorrow of cash. Probably not. I wouldn't conduct your life as though that's the truth. So how do you avoid hooking up too soon? Stay sober. Literally. People are like, ooh, champagne goes straight to my head. It goes straight to my vagina, okay? That's where it goes. And I'm like, guess who's excited to jump in the bed? I have never, ever hooked up with someone right away sober. Not even like, maybe kissed in a parking lot. And you guys know, I've been on like my weight loss thing, and I have a whole video coming, don't worry. I don't really drink. I'll have like a drink sometimes when I go out, but I don't get drunk. And I have never been more like sexless and celibate in my life. You know, people are like, oh, are you just like fighting guys off now that you're thin and you're fit? And I'm like, no, everyone is so annoying because you're sober, right? So it's like, no, I'm not getting laid like ever. It's so annoying. But I mean, hey, that's how it goes. Like when I look back and when I was like just really going after it, I was drinking a lot. And there's something to be said for like drunk sex. It's fun. It's so fun. But I think that can come down the line. The more you drink, the faster you're going to hook up and put out. You know, you are. And that's going to work against you. If you want a boyfriend, if you want a husband, if you want a solid relationship, I want you to keep your fucking pants on. And I want to keep you sober because I want you to evaluate this person realistically. Yeah, it's about not looking like you're just a drunken hoe who puts out, because you know what guys think when you put out fast? She must do this with everyone. Even if you don't, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't, that's what they're going to see and think. I know. It's annoying that we don't live in a world where that's acceptable. We don't. It's annoying that we live in a world where my dog can't talk, but he can't. Okay? I'm just shooting y'all straight. I'm not trying to gaslight you and then have you sit here crying from a broken heart, wondering why the outcome wasn't different. Because that's simply, unfortunately, unfairly, just not always how it works. Maybe sometimes, probably not. Again, err on the side of caution. If for no other reason, I want you to be able to evaluate these people. I have been on a lot of dates where date number 1, amazing. Date number 2, oh my God, amazing. Date number 3, I can see the mask start to fall. Studies show that it takes 3 to 4 months before you really get a glimpse into who somebody is, and 2 years before you actually know the real deal. Like sociopaths, they can keep it up for a very long time. Narcissists have a shorter shelf life. It's a few months. It is a few months. I'm not saying you should wait 4 months to sleep with someone. Wait a few dates though. Wait a few dates. Ask some more probative questions. Deny them something. No, I actually really don't want to eat there. You know, and not in this like gamesmanship way, like don't pick a fight, but be honest. If you're like, I really do not like Donald Trump and I will never vote Republican. Or if that's like your truth, if they're super conservative, see what happens. See how they react when they are denied something that they want, when you are disagreeable, when you are not falling in line, when you're sober and you're pushing back against something like, no, I'm not really a hiker. That's not me. See what they do. See if they keep pursuing it. Without being drunk and be like, it's fine, and you're glossing over it, without getting your body involved and having those bonding hormones flooding through your body. Who is this person? People can keep it up. Because think about it. How long is a date? 2 hours? By date number 3, that's 6 hours. Can you fake it for 6 hours? Whatever it is. Have you ever been to a wedding you didn't want to go to? You went to your friend's wedding. You're like, I hate that guy she's marrying. Did you put on a happy face for 6 hours? I bet you did. Okay? Can you go to a family function? Can you go to Christmas and you're like, Uncle Marty? Did you keep it together for that amount of time? I bet you did. So can guys when they want to get laid. They are the most buttoned up version of themselves you can imagine. Draw it out. Wait them out. Call a bluff. Deny them what they want. See who they actually are. Because again, it is painful. God, it's painful when they're such a disappointment. How can one man be so disappointing? But it is so much more painful to realize that 4 months down the line. When you see a future and when you've oriented your life around them And when you're full of plan B or a baby, or you've bonded, it's agonizing. It's agonizing. If you have slept with someone already, because let's be honest, the worst thing you can do, listen to me. If you have already slept with someone and you feel like it's too soon, the worst thing you can do is say you're not going to sleep with them again. They see right through it. It feels gamey. And it's a huge rejection to them as a man. I know I have tried this, and boy, oh boy, backfired in a major way. Think about if the role was reversed. You sleep with a guy, he's like, hey, I don't think we should do that again. Is there a bridge I could jump off of really quick? Because is there an oven I can stick my head into? You would feel horrible about yourself. You'd feel horrible about yourself. And if you were like, why? He's like, I just feel like we did that too soon. Like, I just want to get to know you. You'd say, well, sex is part of getting to know you. And I thought it was fun, but wow. Okay. That would be a pretty tough pill to swallow. Maybe not. Maybe not. Are you like, no, I would actually be fine with that? Maybe. Have you had someone say it though? How it is in theory and how it is in practice, not great. And men put so much emphasis, way more than women, so much emphasis on their sexual performance and how well they're pleasing a woman. So if she's like, I don't think we should do that again, all he hears is, you were such a failure, I don't even want to go near it. I don't even want to try. That's what they hear. That's what they hear, you know? So beware. What you can do is keep doing dates. Now, I got into this pattern with a guy I dated this summer, Bo. You probably heard me talking, real idiot. Because one thing Travis Kelce said is, yeah, by the third date, like, you go out for the first 2 dates, and don't get me wrong, I'm a gentleman, I take you out on a nice date. Like, Kelce, what is your definition of a nice date? You look like you cook rice and cauliflower for yourself at home. Dry noodles. Not the only thing that's dry, thinking about it. He's like, and by the third date, you know, you're chilling, you're watching a movie. Don't do that then. Don't do that. So this guy, Bo, that I was dating, we'd, been out, we were hooking up, we were dating each other. And then once we started hooking up, it was like the going out on dates stopped. And I was like, Bo, God damn it, I don't want to watch a movie in my house. It's a beautiful summer day. It's 80 degrees. I want to be out and about. Let's go do something. Let's go shooting. Let's go to a rodeo. I'm just not like that. So again, keep it going out. Be like, I don't feel like watching a movie. Let's go to dinner. I want to talk to you about your day. And if he is pushing for that indoor date, that's the writing on the wall. And I dumped this guy. I was like, listen, if you want to just be a booty call, oh, do you know what I said to him? I drug him to hell. I was like, hey, if you're just interested in a booty call, I could maybe be amenable to that. But honestly, the metric I have for guys who are just a booty call is vastly different than someone I date. He's like, what is it? I was like, well, if all I'm getting out of something is sex, I mean, you have to have a bigger bed, much, much bigger, longer, and wider. Just the length and the girth of your bed really need to step it up. You have to have a 6-pack. You have to be able to pick me up. It's mostly the bed, though. It's the bed. And he was like, oh! I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Suddenly, we flipped the script. Suddenly, McDonald's wants something back from you. It's interesting. And I dumped him because he couldn't pass muster as a booty call, and he wasn't passing it as a boyfriend. That's basically what I told him. I'm like, you're in this weird in-between land that's like very unsatisfying for me. He's like, but our sex is so amazing. I was like, it's not for me. I get that it is for you. I get that you get to have sex with me, and that is amazing. Such a monster. I'm like, I get that it is for you. It's not for me. It's like C's get degrees. It's fine. But so don't let it become these Netflix and chills. Don't let it. Even, I know, you're like, but I do want to Netflix and chill. I get that. But make him earn that. That is something he earns. You want to come into my home? My home is beautiful. You want me to curate this nice experience and scented candles and clean sheets? Excuse me, earn it. We can come back here at the end of the night, but we're going out. I want to tell you about my day. I want to see if you listen. I want to see if you ask questions. I want to see if you're sharing things about your life. Or if once we start sleeping together, the getting to know you phase is over. Because so much of the time, that's how it seems. It's like guys just stop trying. So you got to draw them out. If they only have the stamina for 5 or 6 dates, draw that out. Be brave enough to read that writing on the wall. Okay? And again, none of this is anti-feminist. Feminism is honoring who I am and knowing what I bring to the table and knowing what a wild, incredible, amazing creature I am and really settling for nothing less. That's feminism. And however that beats out for you is completely fine. And maybe if you're in a hoe phase, the settling for less is, I'm not sitting across a table from you and listening to you talk about your childhood and your job. I don't care. I'm trying to get my beak wet. Okay? So that's not working for me. But it's all just about authenticity, girl. And really always check in with yourself and ask yourself one question. How do I feel about this? Is this making me feel good? Authentic? Is this checking my boxes? Is this what I imagined? Is this giving me the feelings that I want? I know that sounds simplistic, but hello, we got to go back to basics. Did I come this far to only come this far? Or is this actually something that I want? There's no wrong answer to these. It's just authentic and inauthentic. And putting out or withholding accordingly. All right, I'll see you later, Shalligators. We're going to be back next time. The video about who knows what. Hopefully this isn't demonetized and not kicked off the platform altogether.